and welcome to this first info session of Starts for Water 2. We are very excited to see you all here. We are very excited that we are doing a second round of Starts for Water, and we have 20 residencies that artists can apply for of residencies, and we're very excited to guide you through all the different partners today and all the different challenges that are part of this residency. Talking about the 20 residencies that are on offer, I want to say that we are a consortium of 10 different partners, of which we have 9 cultural partners that are organizing residencies in 8 different countries. And I first of all want to very much welcome our coordinators. That is Frans Snekers from Vito. Vito is located in Belgium, and it's a Flemish research organization on clean tech and sustainable development. So that is the perfect partner for a project that looks into water management questions in terms of developing more sustainable ports, waterways, and oceans. And then I want to introduce myself. My name is Charlotte Gruber. I am here with my colleague Ramona today from Gluon, and we are responsible for the residency coordination. So if you have any questions as an artist regarding the residency working, you can always reach out to us. My email address is also here below, and that's charlotte@gluon.be. And Gluon is an artistic research hub based in Brussels that offers specifically artistic research at the nexus of science and tech. And we have a 10-year expertise in this kind of project working. Then I want to very quickly welcome all the people and quickly say the names of the partners so that you know who belongs where. So I have seen that with WAG, we have here today Zeynep and Maro. Hello. Then we have Benedetta and Petra from TBA 21, and Zoe, Julie, and Sophie from Camargo Foundation in France. I have seen Jacopo from OGR in Italy, and Borut from Pina, and Davor from Drogomore. And unfortunately, from Klima Biennale today, we don't have someone available, but they will be there next week to talk about their residencies. So this is what we're going to do today. We have 2 info sessions, one today and one on Wednesday, and they're both connected. So we focus on 2 different parts in these 2 info sessions regarding the residency working. So first of all, I'm going to give the word to our coordinators, Frans and Aurélie. Then we will shortly explain the STARTS project framework, and we will then also shortly talk about the For Water project in general as one example within the STARTS group. And then we will go into some first practicalities about the residency program, what we offer, the timeline, a little bit about the application overview. We will also come back to that more in detail on Wednesday. And we will give you a bit of a more detailed idea of what are the outcomes that we are looking for that should also help you in your application process. We then will have a short moment where each partner can introduce their own cultural organization and location and the connected challenges that they work around. And then we will split. We will have different breakout rooms for each partner so that if you have questions that are specifically for a challenge, you can join that room. But before that, we also shortly check in if you have any general questions, so the coordinators or me or Ramona can help you out with that. Okay, then I give the word to Frans.
Thank you, Charlotte, for the introduction. Good morning to all of you. and welcome to this webinar on behalf of the partners in the STARTS4WaterII Consortium. Also welcome on behalf of VITO, the Flemish Institute for Technological Research, located in the north of Belgium with over 1,200 employees that are performing research in various areas. Water, of course, is one of them. VITO is the coordinator of this project, and the project aims at connecting science and technology community on the one hand, and the arts and culture community on the other hand. So artists, scientists, technologists, and experts will work together and collaborate as a complementary partners in a co-creation setting. STARTS4WaterII is a European project. It has been granted by Europe's DG Connect from a call for projects in 2022 and follows the successful execution of a preceding STARTS4Water project. On the right side of the slide, you see one of the successful outcomes. Further, the project and the project partners focus on the highly relevant topic of water management in this project. And in the end, the project results aim to contribute to the transformation of our ports and by extension to the port cities, coastal areas, and waterways. So the artist works intend to be inspiring and among others bring us closer to out-of-the-box solutions for water management, thus contributing to a more sustainable society. In the second half of the project, so in 2025, there is foreseen wide outreach through various events and festivals, amongst others Ars Electronica, the UN Ocean Conference, and the 4th edition of the Love Tomorrow conference that takes place during the Tomorrowland Festival in Belgium. That will be July 2025. This is a conference initiated by VITO and Tomorrowland in 2021. The foreseen outreach aims to inspire people in all 4 helices of the so-called quadruple helix model, so policymakers, people in the industry, academicians, and citizens. Thank you again for taking part, and here I would like to hand over to my colleague Aurélie, who will inform further on the ins and outs of the project. Thank you again.
Thank you, Franz.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. So I am Aurélie Delaterre, and I have the honor to coordinate this project for VITO. So with this second edition of STARTS4Water, we have wanted to address in particular the ports. So why so? Because ports are vital gateways by connecting the dots between people, materials, water, energy, and transport. And so we know that they have a huge influence on employment, economic development, welfare in their region and in their country. But however, ports are also facing several environmental and societal challenges, which are complex and interconnected. Circularity, infrastructure development, local production alongside global transport, and of course, addressing various forms of pollution. So we thought, okay, there are therefore ideal test beds to explore how art-driven innovative solutions can address the different challenges from an ecosystem perspective. And by taking on a pioneering role, ports can become the drivers for the transition to a robust water system. So we thought, let's go for the ports, even if it represents a big challenge, because if we can find answers within a complex ecosystem like a port, it will serve as an inspiration for the broader environment surrounding it. And we will prove that art-driven projects can indeed create a significant impact on the broader water community within Europe and beyond. So for this program, we are using the methodology developed by Gluon, where the different stages of the development of the residencies are accompanied by both a cultural organization with an innovation catalyst and a local expert group composed of key people that will share with the artists their expertise on the topic addressed by the challenge. In your guide for applicants, you can find the detail of every stage of the residency that should guide you to build your proposal. And I'm happy to come back to it later if you have any question.
Thank you, Aurélie. Yes, and then of course, as you probably already know, START stands for Science, Technology and Arts. So the idea is really that this innovation catalyst makes these connections to new stakeholders that then the artists can actively collaborate with to really create artworks that respond to sustainability questions in different and new ways. Yes, and that also all players who are involved in this process, they have a mutual relationship of benefit, let's say. And this is also why within the context that Aurélie has already very well outlined, the S+T+ARTS4WaterII project has this focus on ports, waterways and oceans. And it is really the question with all these challenges and all these developments that we see there, it is not just the challenges that are interesting, but it is also the movement that is already there that kind of brings a perfect breeding ground to engage with those kind of questions that are also politically, of course, these days. Because, yeah, the water challenges are one of the most urgent that we have worldwide in terms of our ecological challenges. And then you can see that our call also connects to a variety of already existing efforts, let's say, to introduce these changes and shifts. So, for instance, we are connecting to the European Green Deal, of course. Then also we are endorsed by ESPO and we are connecting to the ESPO Green Guide. This is particularly a document on how EU ports can be transformed towards a green future. We are also endorsed by the AIVP and they are developing the AIVP Agenda 2030 and they are the World Network of Port Cities. Then we are relating, of course, to the UN Sustainability Development Goals from 2015, specifically clean water and sanitation, sustainable cities and communities, and life below water. And especially when we come to the point life below water, we are also seeking for artists to maybe make this connection of looking at who are the different subjects in our world and in ecological systems that deserve to be heard and seen, and what are the different developments. And all of this you will also find in the guide for applicants. Yes, then we will already go in the practicalities, as I have said, and I will give back to our coordinator, Aurélie, to quickly explain to you what is on offer in this residency process.
Okay, so first of all, it's worth saying that we offer money. So we have a 40K budget for the artist residencies that covers all the production of your artwork. All that we say, just to make it clear, because maybe we go very fast on some details, you have it detailed in the guide for applicants, so you can always refer to it. So away from this budget, you will have access to the resources and facilities provided by the residency host institution. So for each challenge, you will be hosted in an institution that will provide you the science and tech side of the residency. Then you will have also access to the local expert group. So for each challenge, you will have between, let's say, 3 and 5, 6 people that are experts in their field, in the field of the challenge, but also in the field of water, all related to our project, that will guide you and accompany you through the project, through the residency. Then you will have through STARTS a huge access to network and to this big community that is STARTS now. because you will also participate in events and sessions and networking sessions along the other residents and also the START partners. As Franz was mentioning, the results of the residencies will be exhibited and showcased at major festivals. So we sit here Ars Electronica of tomorrow and the UN conference next year, but there are also a lot at local level in your institutions that will accompany the residencies. And of course, you will be highlighted in the communications of the project and STARTS in general.
Thank you, Urli. Then we are diving into the timeline for the residencies. The first thing, of course, I want to repeat is that the deadline for the application is 26th of June at night. Then and make sure you check which time zone you are in. Then we have jury days, and there I want to highlight that in the challenges you will see that the general frame for the jury days, it's 15th until 19th of July, but per challenge it can also be a specific day, so check with the challenge. We might also update the jury date to the specific day where it's just a period. And then what is very important to mention is that during the jury days, the selected 3 top artists will be invited to present their project, to have a pitch. And you will be informed at least 2 days before if you are among the 3. For coordination, unfortunately, it was not possible to arrange it in any other way. That's why we pointed out specifically now that you are already prepared. Then the announcement of the finalists will be on 26th of July. Regarding the residency in itself, you will see that it is split into 4 phases plus 1, that is the outreach phase. And here it's important to say that the outreach phase can differ also slightly regarding the challenge. So make sure that if you read the information, you see some of them connect to particular festivals, and then they will mention this takes place in June or this takes place in July. So depending on that, you might also make your calculation or your time frame, because it can then be more than the 9 months that the residency is actually scheduled for. Then you will also see in the guide for applicants, I'm sorry for all this text, but you can look at it again later, but this is just to shortly talk about it. And we will also talk about all application details on Wednesday. So this is for today, it's just to get a first idea. So generally, the residency methodology has these 4 phases, and this is also made to help the artist make sure that we can meet the milestones and that we come out with a really nice project eventually. So you can read about that in the beginning phase, you can meet the people from the local expert group. We can also add expertise in terms of what you are proposing and what you are specifically needing. And then you can define the questions really and kind of even clarify. You might get support even with advancing the budget side, going really into details. So you have this preparatory phase, then you have the development phase where we hope that we can already see tangibly in which direction it will go very clearly. Yeah, then there is an evaluation phase where adjustments can be made or improvements or things become bigger. Yeah, and then we have really the production phase where we make sure that everything is set the way it was planned and we're getting there together. Yeah, and then of course the dissemination phase, as I said, and here it's very important that in July we do have a STARTS for Water II summer school that will take place in Croatia, and it is included in the grant budgeting that each artist will be invited there. So you can be prepared that this is on the plan for the residency process. Yes, and then for the application overview, I will only go into this shortly now because we go more in detail on Wednesday. But I want to make sure that you can already familiarize yourself a little bit. So as Aurélie has already mentioned, very important document is the guide for applicants. So in this PDF, this is implemented here, you will find all the ins and outs. You will find a lot of the answers to the questions that you might have. Then we have the challenge booklet. This is here because we have 20 challenges. That's a lot. You can, when you open it, you can click on the titles of the challenges. So you jump in the document right for where you want to be. That makes it a bit more navigatable. And then if you click apply here, you will be led to JotForm application form, which is the interface that we are using to manage the application process. And into JotForm, you will have to upload a number of documents. One is a CV that shouldn't be more than a page, just a quick CV. And then we have a proposal format template that is a work document that will give you a very good ideas already prepared, that you know what should I think of when I do my proposal. And that's only maximum 4 pages. And then you get 1 extra page for images if you want to use images. And this form is very much in alignment with our evaluation criteria. So you will see a lot of hints so that you know, okay, what could I think of? What should I be aware of? And the Word document that for the proposal, you can, if you go into JotForm, you can copy the link and then it will download immediately to your downloads, or you can also find the download implemented here where it says, yeah, on the website directly. Here you see download the artistic proposal template. Yeah, so there you will also have it. And here you go to the JotForm. Okay, where is the, go back. Yes, okay. Let me see. Yeah. Then about the expected outcomes. As you have seen with the STARTS methodology, I can generally say that we are very open to interdisciplinary arts. We are very open to artists from all kinds of backgrounds. That isn't always the main qualifying factor, what kind of art you make, or and then again, here's also that if you look into the challenges, you might sometimes see, okay, this challenges is more looking for this kind of profile. This challenge is looking more for this kind of profile. But generally, it's more about how do you work? Because these are artistic research processual works, let's say. So it's very much also about that, the ways in which you plan to collaborate during this process between different stakeholders. So it's very advisable to read in the challenges and look out for who are the players, who are the partners. There's always links at the end that will guide you particularly to the different partners so that you can also get an idea, okay, how would I engage with them? What is the data I could use or want? Yeah, and then we have collected these points. They are also in the guide for applicants of inspiration of which way should these works work, let's say. So this is more what we're looking for. What does it do and how does it do it? Than what it's particular, yeah, the concrete result. But it's important if you can, there is a section also in the application to imagine forward what could be the concrete outcomes, but it can be performance, it can be installation, and so on. Then I want to give over to my colleague from Gluon, Ramona, who has a lot of experience and who was also involved in the first round of STARTS for Water, and she will give some examples of best practice that can help you also in getting an idea and getting excited.
Thank you, Charlotte. Well, the expected outcomes, as Charlotte said, are in 2
We don't hear Ramona. We don't hear Ramona.
now. Sorry, because I unmuted. I'm so sorry. It's really my thing today. I'm sorry.
So we hope the expected outcomes are in 2 layers. We, as Charlotte said, we hope that the outcomes are, of course, interesting in terms of artistic research, but we also hope that they are interesting in terms of physical outcomes for the various exhibitions that we have within the projects. So a very brief example of what this might be, and I took some examples of the previous S+T+ARTS4WaterII projects. The first one you see here is a project by Ahmed, an artist living in Belgium, and this S+T+ARTS residency addressed the problem of pharmaceutical pollution. So over 100,000 tons of pharmaceutical products are consumed globally every year, and all of these are ending up in our water streams. And really altering also aquatic life in a cocktail of active pharmaceutical ingredients with really a huge impact on the future of our planet and our biodiversity. So during this residency, the artist explored both the cultural and ecological impacts of particular anti-aging medicine in particular, and demonstrating how anti-aging medicine epitomizes the contradiction of all pharmaceuticals. So on the one hand, these medicines essentially aim to lengthen our human health and lifespan, but on the other hand, they have an immense unintended ecological consequence. So the final installation connected aspects of water pollution through anti-aging medicines to our notion of time, but also our continual search to prolong youth and integrate it in this sculpture, which he calls the fountain of eternal youth. So it's really a conversation piece around this topic. Another example is a residency by Teresa Schubert in collaboration with the Fondazione Pistoletto in Biella in Italy, where she explored the presence of glaciers as starting points of fluvial systems. Glaciers are extremely important, not only as storage of water, but also as a memory of the Earth's past and indicators of climate change, because ice contains information about climates from thousands of years ago, but also radiation, pollution, organic materials, and much more of this information, which will be lost during or due ongoing climatic change. So the end result were 3 different works of one of which you see one here. This work is a glass container or glass objects inspired by the shape from models of mountain landscapes, so that the glass has the imprints of the ground and resembles the glacier stumps. And inside the glass, you have to fill it with meltwater from different ice samples, which were then sealed. This just to give you a very brief examples of how the projects in S+T+ARTS4WaterII went. And if you really have questions on different S+T+ARTS projects, there is a huge library on the S+T+ARTS.eu website where you can go through all the S+T+ARTS residencies projects that have been taken place so far, and which will give you a lot of inspiration.
Thank you, Ramona. Awesome. Yeah. Yes. So, the one thing I wanted to say about that, as I had already mentioned them, in the guide for applicants, you will also find the evaluation criteria exactly listed, so that it's very transparent what is going to be evaluated and how and what matters. So you can also look there for more pointers, let's say. Then we will now go into the different cultural partners that are organizing the residencies in different countries. We will look at the different hosts, the locations, and the challenges. And we will try to make it very short, but we have afterwards, as I said, a little bit more space in different rooms regarding that. And then also there's an email address per cultural organization. If there's a specific question for someone there, then you can also reach them directly. And if I would now click here on the challenges, it would guide to the challenges catalog, which is the second very important PDF that is on the website. Okay, and there you find all this information that we'll be trying to, okay. Okay, Yes, so Aisling,
Yes, hi. Thanks so much, Charlotte. That's been great. Hi everyone. My name is Aisling Murray, and I'm the director of Beta Festival in Ireland. Beta Festival is a new festival of art and technology that critically engages with technology's impact on society through creativity, debate, and experimentation. The festival is co-founded by the Digital Hub, which have made a 5-year commitment to the festival. So the first edition just took place in November, and so for the next 5 years, certainly, and hopefully beyond, it will take place for 2 weeks in November. And the official research partner for the festival is Adapt Research Centre. So Adapt Research Centre are world-leading Science Foundation Ireland Research Centre for AI-driven digital content technology. So they have specific research expertise in AI, content analytics, machine translation, personalization, multimodal interaction, and human-computer interaction, amongst many other things that you can see on their website. So in Ireland, we will be facilitating 3 residencies and 3 different challenges. So the first one being Wind and Waves, Deep Tech and Deep Sea, which will look at immersive technology, deep tech, AI, wind energy, and the energy transition, and really looking at this this challenge or this issue of deep sea water ports in Ireland, and we don't have enough deep sea water ports. And to make the energy transition to wind energy and wind farms, we need more deep sea ports. So in Belfast, we will partner also with the Maritime Belfast Trust, who will give us some expertise. It'll be based in Belfast Port, which historically was a very important port. And the Digital Art Studio in Belfast will also contribute some expertise there. Then the second challenge is in Dublin, which is the capital in Ireland, and that is port perceptions, port infrastructures, and the better city. So this will really focus around port city interface and human-centered design, looking at future cities and the infrastructure required for smart cities. And here there will be some expertise lended from Smart Dublin, from Waterways Ireland, so looking at how to connect into the waterways with the ports. Obviously, being an island, the ports are very important. 90% of all trade comes in through the ports. And then there will be expertise lended from the Irish Maritime Development Office, who are a state agency in Ireland who are responsible for the development of policy and regulation. So that one will be based in Dublin Port in Dublin City. And then the third and final challenge in Ireland will be Sea and Symbiosis, Reimagining Shared Habitats. And this will be in Galway, which is the west coast of Ireland. So you have Belfast in the north, Dublin in the east, and now Galway in the west of Ireland. And this will look at, I guess, the development needed again for the harbour in Galway. Galway is a tidal port, so it only is able to operate currently for 4 hours a day because of the tides. So again, there's a lot of infrastructure required to create a deep sea port and to be able to expand it so that it can better serve the community. So here, one of the things that we're looking to look at is really looking at the kind of how we can kind of symbiotically coexist, and looking at the habitats, artificial habitats, and what is required there, as well as linking in with artificial intelligence technologies. So this will have expertise lended again from the Irish Maritime Development Office, from Galway Culture Company, and also from Culture Works, who are a kind of digital art producing studio based in Galway.
Thank you, Aisling. Then who is going to present from Camargo Foundation?
Hi, Charlotte, it's going to be me.
Hello, Zoe.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Zoe Levoyer, I'm the programs coordinator at the Camargo Foundation, and I'm here today with Sofia Malidia, who works as production assistant at Camargo. The Camargo Foundation, it's a residency space that was founded and created in the late 60s. It's located in Cassis, in the south of France. The foundation welcomes different residency programs throughout the year, developed in collaboration and partnership with different institutions. It's an international center for residencies. We mainly focus on research residencies here. We welcome thinkers, artists, and scholars. Every year, we have between 60 and 70 different people coming here for research residencies, so to work on the development of their artistic projects or research projects. With Stars for Water, we will be partnering with local institutions and communities in Cassis and mainly in the South region, And we'll be looking at how ecological solidarity could be achieved between a historic industrial port region and a protected coastal area. So just to give you an idea, the foundation is located at the entrance of the National Park of the Calanque, which is a terrestrial and a marine natural protected area. And on the east side, we're next to La Ciotat ports cluster, which gathers 4 different ports with different activities. And so the point of the residency is to reflect on the present and the future coexistence of a fast-changing historical and industrial port cluster and a Mediterranean protected coastal area and ecosystems.
Thank you, Zoe. Then Drugomore.
Hello.
Davor, yes.
Thank you, Charlotte. My name is Davor Mišković, and I'm coming from organization Drugo More from Rijeka, Croatia. I mean, organization is dealing mostly with the art projects, organizing festivals, as also running a gallery in the city of Rijeka. And we also kind of producing artworks and organizing different projects. So our 2 challenges are, one is related to more to Rijeka, because Rijeka is a city that had an oil port for 150 years. And oil, of course, leave lots of traces. And we would like to see a project that is kind of finding a way how to trace this activity of the port related to oil production, distribution, in a way, transport, servicing the oil industry. You know, our idea is that somehow I mean, important pillar of that project is that somehow that we acknowledge that traces of oil in the sea are somehow a consequence of the regular operations of the oil industry. It's not just related to some kind of disasters, but kind of related to equipment malfunction or human errors, and that always happening when you have some certain kind of activity. Other challenge is related to the island of Vis, which is a inhabitant island in Croatia. It's about 50 kilometers away from the mainland, and it's one of the rare Adriatic islands that has its own water source. But due to the touristic development and climate change, these water springs are kind of are not enough anymore. So we would like to see how it's possible to explore kind of traditional techniques like water cisterns to develop a kind of small-scale water system. I mean, using modern technologies and with also kind of community engagement of the people who live in the island. And also in Ireland, it's based Island School of Autonomy, that is our partner in Vis, who are kind of owning the house and the one cistern, so where it is possible to build such a prototype.
Thank you. Yes, here at Gluan in Brussels, we have 4 residencies. And Gluan has been founded 10 years ago by Christophe de Jager, who was also curating at Beaux-Arts before, and Ramona, who is here as well. And in this time, I think they have successfully already done over 100 artist residencies. And we are currently having around 20 artists in residence, and we're working on 6 different projects. And we don't only have that one pillar of art and research. We also have a second pillar that is called education, where we work bringing tech knowledge and STEAM education into different levels of schools. So literally bringing the tech to the schools and giving our workshops. And so we also have like an applied section of technology in terms of XR, VR, AR, 3D printing. So we can also provide access to expertise in that hands-on way. Yes, and so we have 4 challenges. We are based in Brussels, and the challenges are in different local contexts. But since Belgium is a rather small country, you're also always very well connected still to Brussels. So the first one is keeping Heterotopia afloat, experiments and model shift. And this is our residency with the Port of Brussels. So it's the Brussels-based residency. And here we are also connecting to the Vlaamse Waterweg, so the Flemish governance of the Flemish waterways. And within the Brussels port, we are like Brussels port is governing 14 kilometers of Scheldt Canal. And these 2 players, they're very interested in sustainability in terms of more sustainable transport. So that's the model shift from, for instance, car transport to transport by boat. But for us, it was then a bit the question like, how would that look so that it would be really having a positive ecological and social cultural impact? So we are also really looking at someone who might have an interest at engaging also the different communities around the canal area and yeah, kind of developing this imaginary of the transport of the future that is truly ecological. As one example, we are always, all the residencies are open to hearing your ideas regarding the description. I see that there's a typo. Sorry, that somehow the second title is the same. Yeah, my apologies. So the 8th challenge is the Staats-Scheldt Valley, cross-cultural collaborations with and for water. And we are here partnering up with 2 partners. One is the Stroom Festival in the Scheldt Valley. So this is an arts festival, but it has a little bit of a focus on music, but it's also a site-specific festival that has different areas to visit in the 24 communities of the Scheldt Valley. And the Scheldt Valley was announced national park only half a year ago. And then we are also partnering with the Korean Council of Arts, and we are looking into specifically ideas of bringing in different cultural backgrounds in terms of answering how we could reinvent the relational side, for instance, that we have with water. But this is just, again, it's just one example of the many ways. But we are definitely here looking for work that can be integrated in the festival in summer next year. And this festival also, of course, because it is in the national park, has a very strong ethos around working in a sustainable way. Also, all our residencies connect, of course, to Vito, and Vito also has a specific expertise group on water, a research expertise group, and this group is called VLACWA. So we also have expertise there, and we have partners at the Ghent University in marine biology and the Blue Cluster that is hosted in Ostend. And then I'm coming already to the next challenge, challenge 9, coastal culture and science at sea, performing a bridge to the Symbiocene. And this challenge is located in Ostend, so that's a city by the coast. So you really have the white beaches. It's a very touristically loved place in Belgium. And we there have a very renowned theater festival, performing arts festival, that is called Theater an See, so theater at sea. And that's also a site-specific festival where in different places around the coastal area, there's a wide program, always end of July, beginning of August. And we are here looking for someone to be really immersed. We have different cultural partners from Ostend, to be immersed in the communities with the cultural partners. There's also a hub for circularity there. And on the other hand, our science partners that are located there, and to see in what ways a performance could stimulate the perception of the different communities on the one hand, visitors, and then also the organisms that play a role within the coastal area. And there are different scientific projects that we point to that you can also find in the challenge, that you can connect to if you wish through our scientific partners. So it's also possible to work with data or the processes that they are currently researching. Then last but not least at all, we have resilience on the waterfront, pioneering ports and beyond. And this residency is endorsed by AIVP, the Global Network of Port Cities. And this is the challenge that connects to the second biggest harbor in Europe, and that is the port of Antwerp. And here we really have all the different challenges that you can find in terms of water that are being tackled in different research projects that we're also connecting to. And one of the focuses here is what kind of perspectives, because these are very solutionist often, these projects, and we are wondering what kind of perspectives can artists add in terms of what is missing in how we even look at the problems that are trying to solve in these different projects. Yeah, but you will see this is one of the most open calls. There's a lot of opportunity that is mentioned, and it is really up to the artists to define what they want to focus on in that context. And you can really also say, I need this, I want to do this, and then we will try to guide you with our expert group to try to make that happen. Okay, so that was it from Gluon. Then I give over, to Klima Biennale, but as I said in the beginning, they couldn't be present today, but they will be there next week, on Wednesday, next session. And they will then talk a little bit more about their residencies, which I think they both connect to the river Danube. Okay. Then I give over to OGR. Jacopo? Yes.
Thank you, Charlotte. And our challenge is, OGR is an institution, an art institution based in Turin, in Italy. And we focused on the encounter and the meeting point between artistic practices and technology. In fact, inside our spaces, we host research centers, startups, and a variety of kinds of technological institutions, which we put in dialogue with the artists we work with. And in particular, during our challenge, we aim to focus on the river that crosses Turin, which is the River Po, which is also the biggest flowing body of water in Italy. And the challenge will directly focus on the river in its relation to the city and in its availability as an unused infrastructure for the city, but also focusing on the themes of pollution and biodiversity that are faced from the river, and how technologies, in particular with the focus on phytotechnologies, that for those who don't know are the, let's say, plants that are used to filter the waters of flowing bodies of water, and to make them less polluted and more viable for fauna and flowers and plants to grow and prosper there. And the challenge will be based both in Turin and in Ostana, which is a smaller village at the beginning of the River Po, so in the mountains near Torino. And the intention is to observe this whole part of the river and to work on this part of the river in terms of pollution, biodiversity, but also in relation to the communities that face themselves on the river and that relate daily on the river. Because of this, our local partners are variated. We have research centers based in Torino that observe the river and that study the waters of the river. But we also have cultural institutions working in different parts of the Piedmont area, Piedmont region, that are relating and that are reflecting from years on the river, on the Po River, and its implications for the city and for the region itself, in terms of sustainability, but also in terms of livability. And I think that's it.
Thank you. Yeah, then Pina.
Yeah, hello from my side as well. Thank you, Charlotte. Hello, everybody.
Thank you, Borut.
Yeah, PINA is an NGO based in Koper in Slovenia, on the northern part of the Adriatic Sea. PINA, it's an NGO quite cross-sectoral. We have different programs, but mainly we work with non-formal education, participation, art and science, support other organizations, and information. We have a laboratory, art and science laboratory, where we have several programs going on. A little bit more about that later in the breakout rooms. But yes, in Koper we have a port that is the most north, the port that most north in Europe, at least from the point of view of the Mediterranean Sea. And with the port of Koper and with the maritime research institution, we set up two challenges. The first one is about indigenous and non-indigenous organisms in the Koper Bay, the future of coexistence, tackling the fact that the ships coming into the Adriatic Sea, and of course in the port of Koper, they bring with them the ballast waters and other microorganisms growing on the ships itself. And those organisms that are not just microorganisms in the ballast water tanks of the ships, they can bring fishes as well and other forms of life. And we want to use the art and science approach to try to find new ways to explore this fact. And the other one, the challenge number 15, it's called Art from the Depths, the Marine Sediment Challenge. Actually, the port of Koper, it's like really muddy, and the bottom of the sea really muddy, and the port of Koper needs to dig every once in a while, every month or couple of months, to deepen the channels used by the ships for entering the port. And this mud is constantly moved by the propellers, by the traffic of the sea. And this is really a really great material, full of organic materials, really a great fertilizer. And we want to tackle if this material can be used in any other way, because now the port doesn't really know what to do with these tons and tons of this marine mud that can be a material used for, I don't know, space is the limit here. So this is from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, then TBA 21.
Hello, thank you, Charlotte. My name is Benedetta, and I'm the project manager for TBA 21, which is an international art advocacy foundation. Thyssen-Bornemisza Art Contemporary was established by philanthropist and art patron Francesca Thyssen-Bornemisza in the early 2000s, and the foundation stewards the TBA 21 collection. So we have exhibitions, educational and public programs that happen in person and online on our platform, oceanarchive.org. TBA has various locations. So our primary base is in Madrid, but we have important connections in Portland, Jamaica, and in Venice, where we have a venue or exhibition space called Ocean Space, and where our residencies will take place. The Foundation Research Center is called TBA 21 Academy, and it promotes artistic and interdisciplinary research to foster a deeper relationship with the ocean and other bodies of water. So this is our second time participating in S+T+ARTS for Water, and artists in this occasion will receive support in the form of knowledge, tools, and data by obviously us, KDM, the German Marine Research Consortium, Ca' Foscari University in Venice, CNR ISMAR, the Institute of Marine Sciences in Italy, Onassis Foundation, Venice International University, and a technology organization called ETT Solution. So our first challenge is Venice Lagoon, investigating liminal spaces and through technodiversity. Here, our main sort of overarching question is how might technodiversity help us investigate the liminal spaces of the Venice Lagoon? So in this challenge, we are thinking of the lagoon, and in particular the port, as liminal spaces and how the port infrastructure impacts the lagoon ecosystem. So we invite artists to look into how speculative practices adopting the concept of technodiversity can help us reimagine the future of the lagoon and the eco-social crisis in this context. We invite artists to think about, through these approaches that include radical futurism, a more than human perspective that consider underwater ecosystems and investigative aesthetics. For our second challenge, metabolism, conviviality in the wetlands of Venice, we are responding to the fact that the nature of the port's release is always seen as distribution hubs, and in particular, they can have a big role in food distribution. So we are not looking here for a mapping of these distribution channels, but rather taking ideas of food, metabolism, and conviviality as a way to inquiry into how we can think of the port as something beyond a distribution place. We would like artists to think about the metabolism of the lagoon and what are the possibilities of these exchanges. In our final challenge, allied governance from the Venice Lagoon and its port and its citizens to the port. Our sort of overall question is how we might envision an allied governance from the Venice Lagoon and its citizens to the ports. So basically here we are responding to the three elements of this ecosystem, the port, the lagoon, and the citizen of Venice. This challenge asks how artists can activate different legal and cultural systems to facilitate cooperation between these three players. So we invite artists to think about modes of allied governance that can draw inspiration from legal traditional forms or other alternative forms of cooperation that can activate multiple agencies. I think you're muted, Charlotte.
Oh, thank you. So my excuses. So I give over to Maro and Zeynep from WAG Future Lab in the Netherlands, and then we are through the 20 challenges, and we'll continue with the Q&A. So, WAG, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Maro. Thank you for staying with us until the end. I promise to give you good and entertaining the last two challenges. I am the curator at the WAG Future Lab. The WAG is a cultural organization in the heart of the Netherlands. We have 30 years of supporting artists, working with what we call art science, and providing critical and socially relevant perspectives on technology. So we work on art research, like this project on Stars for Water, but we also have education, so like in the Biohack Academy and the Fab Academy, and we have a lot of events like the public spaces. So these are the main three things that we do at the WAG. Our jury date will be on the 15th of July. So in case you're planning to apply with us, know that this will be our jury day. And we will be selecting 2 artists, one for each one of our challenges. And our first residency focuses on harnessing natural water vortices in thinking about energy efficient power generation and water treatment. So this idea of the Schauberger vortex principle is about optimizing oxygen intake and enhancing water quality and supporting life in general. And the situation of this challenge will be in the Rijbel de Dommel in the south of the Netherlands, in which artists will collaborate with scientific experts to explore these vortex complexities and develop innovative methods for water treatment. So we will have interactive sessions and, of course, creative support from the WAG Future Lab, in which artists will create these resilient artworks, thinking of vortexes, of course, and we're also addressing urban challenges, thinking, of course, in multidisciplinary ways behind treatment processes. So this one is a little bit more technical, a little bit more closed, and we have a lot of direction on where we would like to go. So if artists are more technical and have ideas on this, they're more than welcome. Our second residency program will be hosted by the Port of Amsterdam and also supported by us. And this one invites artists to explore this changing landscape of the cargo flows and maritime shipping. So ports are transitioning away from fossil fuels and towards circularity, and artists are encouraged to envision how these sustainable future scenarios for cargo routes and material flows would look like. So as you know, ports have a very big political relevance in the way that we connect, and it impact various territories that they connect through these ports. So we want to have a collaborative inquiry in which artists which engage with experts in cargo logistics, and they will be like mapping models, ecological systems, and we are reimagining the city's position in global trade and its relationship to oceanic ecologies. So this challenge prompts artists to consider ecological impact of material flows, because as you know, the way that they are flowing really has an ecological impact where the products come, but also where they come from, the evolution of transported goods, the social implications of maritime shipping on port cities, but also communities around the port city. So this one is in Amsterdam, and this as a port city is impacted, but all the communities around that the ships bring products from are also impacted. And the expected outcomes include immersive artworks, and the idea is to explore speculative environmental transitions, and we want to offer new visions for sustainable cargo flows and port cities. So these are the challenges that you can address in the Netherlands.
Thank you, Maro. Okay, thank you, everyone. And we are very good in the timing, I think. That's great. Yeah, I would now invite all our visitors, the artists, the very important VIPs now. If you have any general questions, you can ask us if you want, or you can put them in the chat. You can open your mic or put a hand up. Yeah, and we will first have a moment for general questions, but if you have any questions that are very particular to an organization, then I would wait a moment, and then we're going to go into the breakout rooms. And thank you all for all your patience, and thank you to all the partners for preparing. And yes, let me see. Yes, I'm checking. Yes, are there any general questions? Yes, we are recording, and we will put it on the S+T+ARTS YouTube channel. Yeah, this is a